How strategic are most of the successful people you know in the film industry?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say very strategic. I don't think that success is by accident. I don't care what anybody says about that. I really think it's intentional. And it might not happen when you want it to, but it will continue to happen if you are really driven, prepared, focused. So I believe that it takes a lot of intentionality to be successful. I believe it takes a lot of skill and also strategy for sure. There's people I'm thinking about. There are people that I'm thinking about right now, but I'm also like thinking about myself in regards to some of the strides that I've made and also some of the strides that I know will come to pass. Because if you keep knocking at the door has to answer. Like, I just don't believe it, if your life keeps calling you to something, it's for a reason. And so it might not be when you want it, but it will definitely be right on time.
Well, we could use the example of Gospel Live. You just kept thinking about how you really wanted to do this PR sort of leg of a tour, and it came to fruition.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. And there have been other moments in my life as well. When I think about when I wrote and directed my short film First Date, and that was back in 2012, that was because there was an idea that kept floating in my head. It wouldn't go away. And so at that point, like, oh, there's an idea that's waiting to be birthed. Like, it's my responsibility to bring it to pass. And so that's really how I felt also about the tour. Like, it's one of those things that you can't really explain until you experience it, like an idea that's knocking on your door. And that's the same thing for even conversations. Like, when people have nudges that they need to speak with somebody, call them, because that is your life calling you to something, whether you need to make amends or whether you need to build a new bridge or a new avenue of your relationship. I think that our intuition really speaks to us, and it's to us to listen. I think it's really important to listen.
Do you still create an action plan every year?
I do create action plans every year. It's something that I've been doing since college. And so I build out different sections of my life. So from academic to cultural to domestic, entrepreneurial, financial, I do everything. So I'll put together an action plan pretty much towards the end of the year of what I envision for the year, what I'm excited about, and really get specific about the types of goals that I have for the year. So I absolutely do.
Do you ever go back over old action plans and
Absolutely.
be like, this one, cross that off, I did it?
Absolutely. I go over my action plans. I also call them dream sheets as well. So I kind of go back and forth between both of those titles, but I absolutely go through my action plans. I'm always so amazed because I believe putting it on paper makes it plain. And so it makes it very specific to you. It makes it tangible. And so I absolutely go back through, and I'm always so excited and proud of, saying it and doing it.
Right. And that was my next question is, how do action plans help manifest goals? And it sounds like the act of writing it down.
I would say the act of writing it down is really good, but also being very specific and intentional with myself about a time frame. I will say that my suggestion for anybody is don't beat yourself up on the time frame, because sometimes life happens and you got to keep going, but you're going to get it done. So I would say for myself, I always enjoy doing action plans because it keeps me accountable to myself. When you think about deadlines that you have for work or different things, like people come to you with, in their own words, action plans, and you don't even realize it in terms of, oh, I would like you to do this by this particular date. But I think it's really important for us to hold ourselves accountable about what we want to do and what time frame we would like to do it, and also like what we want to experience in our lives.
What do you do when you don't meet the goals?
I write them down again. So I keep writing them down until they happen, or I reassess if it's a priority. Because sometimes in life you realize, oh, this wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was, or am I afraid of this thing? Why am I not doing it? So it's about like really assessing where that goal, where that action item lives in my heart, and if I'm going to continue to pursue it or not. Typically, I continue to pursue it, but I wanted to just flag sometimes it's like, oh, is that a priority or am I afraid of it? And so it's getting really honest about that.
Interesting. So you think that sometimes it's not just lack of interest or timing, but it's fear pushing it away?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there one that you can share that you feel comfortable with, that you felt like maybe fear was pushing it away?
For myself, well, I can be specific about this particular thing. So, on my vision board or on my dream sheet, I really wanted to be in a committed relationship. And so that was like, out of everything, that's like the one thing that wasn't getting done. And you don't always like make relationships or friendships goals, but I'll say, repairing a friendship, I think, is a goal, or, making sure that you get together with your family. Those types of things are goals. So when it comes to a committed relationship, it's like, oh, is my heart open? Am I recognizing opportunities when they arise? So for me, year after year, that wasn't happening. And I was like, what's going on? I feel like, am I afraid of commitment? What is going on? And so anyway, I got a dating coach last year, which was really incredible. It was at a time where I was in a season of yes and a season of joy, and realized that there were certain ways that I was going about relationship that was actually repelling relationship. And so long story short, I am in a very committed relationship and very, very happy. But I would say that I had blinders that I didn't recognize before. So I would say definitely that's something that was on my vision board and was on my dream sheet for some time. And now it has come true. And I'm like really excited about that.
Very cool. I love that too. A dating coach.
Yeah.
I love that. And especially in LA, I bet they're very busy.
So my dating coach actually lives in Brooklyn. So we had our sessions on Zoom, and I was a part of a small group. So it was 2 other young ladies that were a part of that group. It was an 8-week intensive, if you will. Shout out to Allison Wellington. She was a great coach and really made dating fun. It was really the first time, when you're goal oriented and driven and you're planning events and you're producing shows and you are leading things, you're not always thinking about, well, what are the ways that I can really be soft and vulnerable? I don't even think I'm like that much. I'm not like super hard or anything like that, but I would say that I think it was challenging before, and her course really opened my eyes to, the ways in which I was holding commitment, and also the ways in which I was holding like vulnerability. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that transition in my life. So that's definitely one area that I can say there has been growth and evolution. I'm really proud about that. I'm really excited about it too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're such a planner and you're disciplined. Do you ever have a regret? Do you look back at anything in your life with regret?
You know what? In terms of that, I really don't regret a lot of things. I feel like life happens the way that it should. My biggest regrets often come about with like disappointing people. Like sometimes things happen and you really didn't mean to upset somebody. But in terms of goal setting, I don't have any regrets with my life. I really don't.
Right. Yeah, no, relationships are tricky. They're talking about currently that we're in like this friendship recession.
Oh, really? Is that what they're calling it?
That's
like
the term.
A phrase for everything.
I know there is. And so the friendship recession, and there's women on TikTok that are talking about how they don't actually have any close friends. And especially if you're busy doing things, it can be easy to drive people away or just not have time. Maybe you're not even driving anyone away.
I tend to be it's funny. One of my best friends mentioned this recently that, I'm very intentional about friendships. And I think a lot of that has to do with my commitment to being in community and connection. It's something I really, really care about. Because, after the show is done, after the accolades are done, you can't hug the award. You can't hug the show. You're going about your business to something else. You got to go home. So to go home and it's cold is not what we want. And so I feel like I've always been thoughtful in that way. In regards to friendships, I will say, yeah, I think that sometimes situations happen that you're like, I really did not intend for that outcome. And I think it's really important to be apologetic, but also understand that sometimes people feel very differently about things and you got to give people space. So in terms of anything like, in terms of regret, those are honestly the only things that come to mind. But yeah, like when it comes to just goal setting and life, honestly, we only have this moment right now. We really do. Time is flying so fast, and I think life is really precious. Like I can't be worried that I didn't hit a particular goal. That goal better get back on this list and we're going to keep it moving. So yeah.
Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. Here is a complimentary question from our book Story Questions.